are going to be heading indoors, so those glasses are definitely recommended. You don't have to wear them, but it'll give you a better experience when we're in those attractions. Now, this is not a normal tour, my friends. It gets loud, so we have loud noises, water effects, fire effects, unexpected motions. So just hold on nice and tight to all those personal items. Now, should anything fly out of the tram, do not dive out for that item. Here's what you gotta do. You're gonna reach up, you're gonna pull that red safety cable. Oh, I scratched the roof and that kind of hurt. That red cable turning down the ceiling of your car. As soon as you pull it, stay seated, okay? Okay, it's gonna get a little bumpy, so we wanna make sure that you guys are holding on nice and tight to all these articles. There is no smoking, there's no vaping on the tram. If you brought a selfie stick with you, you can use that in the theme park, that's A-okay. But on the tram, try not to use your selfie stick. If there's a medical emergency, again, pull that E-cord running down the ceiling of your car. And that wraps it up for our safety rules. Welcome to the movie poster timeline. These posters represent just a few of the thousands of movies we've made here over the last 106 years. Yes, we're 106, but it's Hollywood. We don't look a day over 98. Do we have any Jaws fans in the house? Ah, nice taste. What about E.T., the extraterrestrial? Back to the Future. Coal miner's daughter. Really, Country? Wow, that's random. Well, hey, listen, we're getting deeper into this studio and things get weird. Start questioning reality. You don't know what is real and what isn't, but that's why I'm here. So if you thought that on the right, that fire station was a film set, it's actually not. That's real Los Angeles County Fire Department, Station 51. Heroes and first responders at Universal Studios. Why do we have a fire department here at Universal? Same reason why we have a sheriff's department, a shoe shine, a dry cleaner, a gym, a restaurant, a DMV, a mayor, a Starbucks. It's because we're a real city. And this city was founded by the man on your screens. That was Carl Laemmle. It was his dream to open up a city dedicated entirely to the making of motion pictures. He did it, and then some. As we also make TV shows, commercials, music videos, reality shows, competition shows, special events, private events, you name it. On your screens, you're seeing images that date back to the silent film era, but these big structures that you're going to see all over our front lot, they were created because the silent film era came to an end. When sound was introduced into the picture, we introduced sound stages to the studio. Heavily insulated structures, they become 98% soundproof as soon as the door closes. Now, here on the left, stage 19, I gotta keep my eyes peeled though, because a lot of filming has been happening just in these last few weeks. You know, the 90s, it's coming back, baby. We got Fresh Prince of Bel-Air spin-off called Bel-Air filming in those two stages. These two just wrapped up, but for many weeks it's been the walls to Bayside High from the NBC show Saved by the Bell with Mario Lopez and Mark Paul Gosselaar. Now, a lot of actors and performers here at Universal are pulling double duty. You know, stage one is home to the Kelly Clarkson show. And Kelly Clarkson is also a former judge on The Voice. Now, you might have seen the billboards all over our park for The Voice. Now we're welcoming Ariana Grande to the team. Now, Saved by the Bell also filmed in stage 21. This here off to the left, second largest soundstage in our studio. It's one of my favorites. Some of the coolest movies filmed in there. John Carpenter shot scenes for The Thing with Kurt Russell in there. And that's also where Steven Spielberg shot scenes for Jurassic Park. Ron Howard had Mission Control in there for Apollo 13. Although it is impressive. We have a long history here in movies. We also have a pretty impressive history with television. It dates back to 1939, the first time Universal put a broadcast on TV. That was at the 1939's New York World's Fair. You know the street we're driving down now, lovingly known as Sitcom Alley. We were home to those sitcoms you may remember, like Who's the Boss?, The Jeffersons, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Coach, Charles in Charge. Oh, we've been home to so many comedies NBC's been putting out. One of my favorites is The Good Place. That wrapped up with 4 and final seasons, and that filmed in stage 44. The Good Place stars Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, who gets to stay in the same stage that The Good Place filmed, or Mr. Mayor. And look at that, you're seeing a trailer here for the AD keys and transpo department, these trailers, collection of them, make up a base camp for a production where the stars will take a little rest in their trailers, or maybe even the script coordinator going back into their trailer, makeup artists, costumers. Before you even find yourselves inside the soundstage, you gotta go back a few steps. It begins with an idea, and ideas are consistently born here at Universal, especially here off to the left. These are production offices. Now, just for a quick little breakdown here, there are 3 phases to filming. Phase 1 is pre-production. You start with an idea, start fleshing out the details, start hiring, start casting, start building sets, and then when you're filming, that's production. Just simply when cameras start rolling. And then post-production, that's editing, sound effects, visual effects, you name it. Now, here on the left-hand side, we got some of the biggest producers working here at Universal. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mark Platt, Elizabeth Banks, the Dino De Laurentiis company. And we're about to finish our front lot excursion. And I'm gonna drop volume on my microphone, only because we're so close to the casting offices on your right. Can you see your reflection in the casting offices right about? Good, look alive. Those are casting offices. You never know who's on the other side. Well, on the other side, on the left, guess what? Those are 2 of the newest sound stages Universal introduced about 40 years ago. And because they aren't like the others that were built in the late 20s, these are 100% soundproof. They come with a wall of amenities here, offices that serve as post-production facilities. You got dressing rooms in there, you got meeting rooms, probably even got some really nice vending machines, but that's just me guessing. But right behind that, you got the sound stages. 2 of them that have been so busy since they were built. First production that filmed in there, Hairspray Live. That starred Ariana Grande, Derek Huff, Maddie Ballio, Martin Short, Kristen Chenoweth. And it was amazing to see how they dressed up the interiors, but they also used our backlot as well. We're about to enter the backlot, but just a few more productions I want to highlight that filmed in there. Law and Order, True Crime, The Menendez Brothers, America's Got Talent, World of Dance, that was produced by Jennifer Lopez. I'm gonna raise my volume just a touch here, just because I think car 3 and 4, you guys are the only ones right next to the casting offices, but that's good. Today, it's been super, super busy for a new comedy that stars some of my favorite comedians, Chris Redd and Kenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live at the NBC show. Kenan has been filming not just in those stages, but on the backlot as well. So, again, the base camp that you see down there, that's for Kenan. And they've been filming in other areas of our studio as well. Now, I'm going to pull up a TV show here called Will and Grace. When they returned to Universal, they actually also pulled us, the studio tour, into their production.
We've all had our share of humdingers.
Although that dud film in front of a green screen, make no mistake, they're taking a tour around our world-famous Universal Studios backlot. New York Street is off to the left-hand side. That was featured as London, England, and not New York in the movie Hobbs and Shaw, one of our Fast and Furious spin-offs. Season 13's obstacle course for American Ninja Warrior was also laid out in the middle of the New York Street set. Billie Eilish just dressed that up as Paris, France for her music video, My Future. But that has been featured as New York in some of the biggest superhero movies, like Captain America, The First Avenger, The Amazing Spider-Man, Lizzo, Part 3. You know what? Our Andrew Garfield was not the only Spider-Man. We had Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies also filming out there in our backlot. Now, remember what I said about the warning label? I said you're going to see that a lot. Anytime I want to give you a little gentle heads up to hold on tight, you're going to see the warning label. And right now you are seeing it, because not only are we about to experience a 3D attraction, but we are entering an indoor space. So here's what we're asking you to also remember, to keep those facial coverings on. The Academy Award-winning director Peter Jackson is here to introduce us to this next journey.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up on the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you encounter monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, to hold on nice and tight to all loose articles. If anything falls out inside of the attraction, you won't immediately get it back. No flash photography. Facial coverings on. Welcome to Skull Island.
Yeah, we have.
It's still bananas. What did you guys think? Was that cool? Yeah? Oh, good. It was very expensive. This epic battle, designed by Weta Digital and Peter Jackson. And if you've never heard of Weta Digital, oh, you've seen their work. I mean, Avatar, Planet of the Apes, The Lord of the Rings, Deadpool, Wonder Woman, Jungle Book, Avengers Endgame. Sounds like I'm bragging, but that's really their filmography. Leading masters of visual effects. And they place all of this incredible effects on screens that stand at over 40 feet tall, 180 feet wide, and 16 projectors to operate that battle. Hold on to those 3D glasses. Don't toss them out of the tram. You may need them again.
Oh, we want.
With a project like Studio Tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know where the people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot in this tram that's driving along through Skull Island.
You know, maybe I'm biased, but that's my favorite part of the ride. It's when we get to see our tram pop up on the screen. But you saw another example that I'd shown you from Will and Grace, how the tram was also on screen. So you saw it one in real life, one digital, and it doesn't matter what it is. If it's on screen and it's moving around, we call that a picture car. It could be a bicycle, it could be a boat, it could be an airplane. In a few moments, we're going to take you back to the Universal Picture Car Department. So get those cameras out and say hello to some of the coolest rides ever put on screen. Now, I used to love the original Knight Rider with David Howard. Hasselhoff. Now that version of KITT was voiced by not Val Kilmer, but William Daniels, who played Mr. Feeney in Boy Meets World. Val Kilmer was the voice of this reboot of KITT. Now, Industries 3000. Back to the Future 2. Remember when it predicted what the future was going to look like? The year 2015. Flying cars. Those flying cars. I know, it didn't really happen, but it's kind of amazing that a lot of these vehicles are not entirely what they appear to be. You know, the Flintstones cars will obviously have a lightweight material to produce that cool mold of a prehistoric picture car. So that's fiberglass, but there's also fiberglass on the Fast and Furious picture cars. The thing about that is, you just never know if it's going to survive the film set. So why are you going to spend all that money when you can create a replica with a lightweight material? On your screens, there's a picture car that was set on fire. Could you imagine dropping all that money on a tank just to set it on fire? And if you were wondering too why there was no glass on the gyrosphere, well, that gyrosphere had glass, but it was digital. Because actual glass is a reflective surface, and you don't want to see the camera crew or producer. That shatters the illusion. Now, speaking of things Jurassic, on your screens you're going to see a picture car there in the foreground. That mobile laboratory is on your left-hand side. And because we're here, I think that we should have a proper introduction.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Where everything is fake. Well, you know, dinosaurs. But also, we have a lot of foam rubber, the tree stump on the right, plywood for the cages, the rust, it's just paint. And, well, the blood, yeah, I don't know about that. And that could be because we do have some dinosaurs hiding around us, including this Hathosaurus. Even the tree stumps around this dinosaur, you can see that it is styrofoam. It has that texturized look and feel to it to make it look absolutely incredible. One of my favorite facts about Jurassic Park is that Steven Spielberg wanted everything to be authentic, even behind the scenes, and he had a lot of his film crew members wear dinosaur booties so that anytime they walked around the set, they left tracks all over the film set. I love Spielberg. But let me pull up a clip here, because that picture car back there, if you were taking a close look at it, you'd notice, it's actually stripping and chipping apart. Is steel and metal supposed to do that? No, it's plywood. And here's why it's plywood. Look at the stunt. That would have been unnecessarily difficult if there were an engine inside. I'm going to pause it there because you'll notice that they're filming it getting pushed off a cliff and it's hanging. That's not a cliff. That's not Costa Rica. That's our studio, but that's not a soundstage. It's not even a backlot set. That is a parking lot in our studio. It's kind of fascinating that any inch of our studio, no matter what it is, if you want to use it as a film set, you absolutely can. Now this effect here, ouch. Yeah, that would have hurt. But we want to protect the actors on the set there, so she actually starts off on the glass. And this is a really cool effect because in order to get her falling down, they just reverse the shot. Boop. You add the sound effects in post-production. That's called Foley. The sound of glass cracking, also Foley. It's also worth noting that Foley is taken care of in post-production because when you're filming a scene, you're only going to want to hear the sound of dialogue. So keep that in mind because in this next area, we're actually going to have a full demonstration here with sound. Well, at least we're not rolling cameras. But this is a demonstration of not just sound, but also practical effects. What is that? It's an effect that you can create in front of the camera. So you have your cameras out right now, so you can start filming our practical effects. This is a demonstration of rain, because no one here in Hollywood sits around on the film set hoping rain is going to fall out of the sky. This is something we got to take care of in front of the camera. And to produce the effect, well, it's a super sophisticated piece of high-tech machinery. It's pronounced sprinkler. Well, the sprinkler heads are doing some work here. Notice how they've been angled upwards. That allows the water to travel straight up. Thanks to gravity, the rainfall looks a little bit more authentic, a little bit more natural. And interestingly enough, you cannot see rain on screen. Have you seen like a soccer game on TV when it's raining or football? You can't really see it, so I've actually turned up the effect. Okay, that's too much. No, that's too much. Okay, it's too much.
Let's get out of here.
Well, it's a good thing I have a window. Sorry. Look at that, it's not just this tram that gets to be world famous with a little bit of 15 15 seconds of fame, but our studio tour attractions have also been featured as film sets. There it is in Big Fat Liar. That flash flood was also used by the Academy Award winner Lady Gaga in her music video Judas. Speaking of Academy Award winners, you know, we've had plenty of Academy Award winning movies, directors, actors, set designers, costumers walk through our studio, but just a couple of years ago at the 91st Academy Awards, we had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood take home a couple of Oscars. But I want to point out the set there with the orange curtains there on the left. Now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino, that featured nearly 45 minutes of our Six Points, Texas. Now, Six Points, Texas, again, been around since the silent film era. Some of the coolest cowboys have moseyed down here. Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, Kirk Douglas. It was really cool to see how Tarantino's production utilized our Western sets to recreate a Western in the 1970s. It was called Lancer, the fictitious show within the movie. And this entire production took home the Oscar for Best Art Direction.
Make sure my phone
Okay,
doesn't go out.
you're gonna wonder why a warning label has popped up. You know, it's actually just a little gentle reminder in case you forgot that we really want you to use your E-cord. Listen, what would happen if you dropped your phone? It rolled into that little body of water. You jumped out of the tram, into the water. No offense, but no one's gonna help you. It's not you, it's just that's Park Lake, where the creature from the Black Lagoon lived. That's right, Gilman's former home. In fact, we're taking you to the home of all the classic Universal monsters. Welcome to Little Europe, the birthplace of the monster movie. As you may have noticed, hopping into our theme park today, we are currently in the throes of Halloween in our park. I know it's still September, but Universal, we have a big reputation, and now you know why. We were the ones who introduced Hollywood to the monsters. Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, who's over there. Unbelievable. You all looked. Okay, you get a pass. You might have also just been looking around at the beautiful set decoration. It kind of looks like a familiar set to you, maybe. Well, if you are fans of The Good Place, then you definitely recognize The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
And if that show sounds awesome to you, which it is, then you're definitely going to want to check it out on our streaming platform, Peacock. That's where you can catch some of our newest NBC comedy titles, or even some of the classics. If you're fans of The Office or Parks and Recreation, that's where you can find those shows. But guess what? A lot of the actors from those two shows, Parks and Rec and The Office, they were here during our year away doing some crazy productions. Ed Helms, you may know him as Andy from The Office, returned to film a production in our courthouse square that was called Rutherford Falls. Also stars Janice Schmieding, co-created by Michael Shore, who brought you The Good Place, and also Sierra Teller Ornelas. So if you've not seen this show, I definitely recommend that to you. That's on your queue list, okay? And of course, Parks and Rec, we know and love Retta. She played Donna Meagle. Well, she was out here along with her co-stars Mae Whitman and Christina Hendricks for Good Girls. And Good Girls did some heavy filming in our studio. And if you were fans of it, then you know it's set in Detroit. Didn't film in Detroit, filmed right here in our back lot. And on the left, that home also has been out here for many years. It was formerly home to Home and Family, the Hallmark production that starred Debbie Matenopoulos and Cameron Matheson as the hosts. It looks like that they're keeping that practical set here, and that's where Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman of Parks and Recreation also have been out here working on a couple of spin-offs of their competition series, Making It. If you're fans of the Netflix show Making It, they did use our backlot sound stages just across that body of water. They filmed some scenes out there as well, but now there's a different version of Making It, also with these two hosts. It's for bakers this time. Yep. It's baking it. So if you guys are fans of those competition style series, tune into it. You're gonna see our backlog. Now I'm gonna throw this here on your screens. A warning label. If your masks are not on, please go ahead and raise those facial coverings. We are entering an indoor environment. It's another practical effects demonstration, so you definitely also want to hold on tight. Off to the right, you may see someone hanging out in there. Hello. Who is that? Oh, it's Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Well, that's a studio tour ambassador. You may remember our ambassadors on the load line handing you out some glasses, boarding you for the tram. They also help us out with this demonstration. Practical effects, little reminder, it's an effect you can create in front of the camera as soon as you yell out, action. I was just explaining it. Really saying action. No, uh-oh, everyone look at the room. This is not Harry's fault. It's the San Andreas fault. You know what? You're really silly. No, it's okay. You're in shock and it's normal. Just go to your happy place. Find a Starbucks. Excuse me, did you say Disneyland? Yeah, I heard you. Keep it to yourself. This is not good. So this is it, huh? It's not fair. I'm too young. I'm too beautiful. Huh. Remember that button I wasn't supposed to press earlier? I pushed it again. But it was an accident. It's okay. Good job, everyone. Everything's ready. You can reset the stage. Oh, yeah, we were in the whole time. Oh, you couldn't tell? I call that acting. Wow, good job, everybody. That was a pretty impressive performance, I gotta say. At first, I was absolutely judging you. But then I realized, oh my gosh, they're honing in on their characters as Californians in an earthquake, completely unfazed and on their phones. I get it. It's a normal Sunday for us Californians, but we call that earthquake the big one for a very good reason. That simulates an 8.3 on the Richter scale. Here you can see it as it was featured in a scene from Bones, the Fox hit TV series. Look at those practical effects. You got to see those for yourselves. They are mechanical as well. Now, mechanical effects, nothing new in Hollywood. In fact, one of my favorites was featured in the 1975 Universal hit, Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. I say we take a little stroll back to Amityville. Is that a tuba? No, not the tuba. Not the tuba! No, on the right, do you see it's a shark? Who do we call? Don't say. We said Ghostbusters. We don't need them. Okay, look, there's already someone out there. Come on! Get him! Use your muscles. Left punch. Right punch. Fruit punch. Okay, that is not what I said. Oh no, I can't believe it. The bakery's closed. Oh, yeah, no, that guy's dead. But don't worry, we have gotten you to safety. We're parked next to a fleet of gasoline tanks. Yeah, that's hot. Unfortunately, I was hoping it was going to cook the shark. No free lunch for us today. We're going to need a bigger tram. And cut. Great job, Bruce. Everyone put your fins together. That was a fantastic performance. Hi, Gregory. From Bruce, the Studio Tour Show. That's my favorite Colombia.
I was leaving.
You know, that is also not the shark from the film Jaws. If you thought that, I'm sorry, but you would not have seen anything with the original shark. That one didn't even work. Look at ours. Look at him. He's like a backstroke. It's the only shark in the world that can do that. And if you're wondering, well, why was the original shark not okay? Well, he was fine. He just didn't like to work.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was not good. It didn't really work well.
Wherever you were on my hear the radio guys, they were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
Oh yes, it was someone's job to have to edit this movie. A nightmare for an editor, I would think, because, well, the main character is broken. Well, luckily for Jaws, with all the problems they experienced, the movie ultimately ended up in capable hands. The editor was Verna Fields, and she took home the Oscar for editing Jaws. This movie went on to become the first summer blockbuster in the history of cinema, smashed all sorts of box office records. Now, in the front lot of our city, we love to name the buildings and the streets after prolific figures in the industry. So Miss Verna Fields has her very own post-production building named after her. And right now, we've been on this street for a long time, actually, and it would continue to go all the way up through our mountain. If you had to take a wild guess who it's named after, Steven Spielberg. Here on Steven Spielberg Drive, we have a lot of residential areas tucked into the mountain of our studio. So, on the left, that's Colonial Street, the proper name, but I know so many fans immediately recognize it as Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives. Currently, it's home to one of my favorite it's not NBC, it's actually Netflix. Netflix has a show called Never Have I Ever that was created by Mindy Kaling. Devi Vishwakumar's house is on our Colonial Street. Now, Mindy Kaling is also no stranger to our studio whatsoever. A few years back, this was home to the Mindy Project, which was set in New York City, but it filmed here in our backlot. Mindy worked, lived, played in the same backlot studio, although in the TV show it shows you Mindy traversing all over town. So I love that we can do that in our studio. We provide all kinds of areas that can be turned into anything. And also take note of how densely wooded our studio is. We take advantage of the fact that this is a mountain. And if you are looking on the left-hand side, I mean, all the trees and the bushes with the right framing, the right camera angles, and the right establishing shot, you could be in a national park, a cabin in the woods, you name it. Now, there was a movie that Netflix put out a few years ago that starred Sandra Bullock. It's called Bird Box, and that did film in some of those areas off to your left-hand side. Oh, you saw Bird Box, huh? Wait, you did too? Oh, wait, how many of you saw Bird Box?
Daddy,
What? That's like everyone. How? I was blindfolded. I couldn't see anything. Anyway, now we're moving on here, but we're about to make a left on another street here named Janet Lee. If you're not familiar with that name, you will be in a moment, but I'm actually going to give you a heads up to get those cameras out in case you'd like to check out some of our picture cars. I know, we normally don't store any here, but this is kind of a special treat. We have some recent additions from Fast 9. You might recognize those race cars. And also, Mini Coop's over there next to the double-decker, Mr. Bean's Holiday. You got the Yellow Dews Coupe there that dates back to American Graffiti, starring a young Ron Howard, and a yellow friend out there, that's Bumblebee, a promotional Bumblebee for press junket type productions. Oddly enough, we were told they were put out there for safekeeping. Yeah, I don't know how safe they are. Look where they parked them, next to the Bates Motel. Again, you may have noticed that our park has been dressed for Halloween Horror Nights, but it's not just the theme park that's a part of the event. It's also our backlot. And the Bates Motel is a part of the set. You can pretend like you are Vera Miles walking towards the Psycho House. You never know who you're going to find up there. Look at the second floor. There's a friend. That's Mother. Don't make eye contact. Oh, never mind. She doesn't have eyes. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just go to the heart of the colossal set. This is the crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. Production designer Rick Carter teamed up with Spielberg to help him bring this vision to life, and that included bringing out a real 747.
Airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision, a story.
To sit down to talk about the world. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay. Now closed. Okay. Robbie, get in. Get in.
All right, friends, we're now 10 minutes away from the end of the tour experience. It's your final reminder to use the E-cord for guest assistance. Don't be shy, too. If your sound has been off and you're just too shy to tell the tour guide, we actually would love for you to tell us those kinds of things, so don't be shy. Now, we're back on Steven Spielberg Drive, but we're going to make a right. John Williams Drive, a legendary film composer. Out here, though, I'm going to point out one of the biggest sets maybe in the world. And I know it doesn't look like a set because it's just a one big blue screen, but guess what? That screen can turn into anything thanks to visual effects. But on your screens, you're going to notice that, hey, what's it doing there in Psycho? Well, the screen's not there. It's just that area that was used for this scene. But then the backdrop comes into play. However, still no visual effects. All of those clouds you see there were painted on. And you're wondering, is the water CG? No. That's a basin out there that can be filled with water to create any ocean sequence. Now you're going to see how a computer comes into play. We call the set Falls Lake, and it's been used for so many big blockbusters like Inception, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Jurassic World. There it is in Sully, starring Tom Hanks, which is kind of cool because you just saw him right before that clip landing the Apollo 13 in Falls Lake. Well, guys, we have to take a little detour here, so go ahead and put on those facial coverings if they are not already on. We're going to hide into the Sullivan truck repair here. Don't worry. The thing is, we're not here for an oil change. We were instructed to bring you all here, and I'm not quite sure why. I can read you this text message that I got earlier. It says, Tram 8314, that's us. Please report to the Sullivan truck repair and wait for an associate to fill you in on the details. Is that you? Hi, we're here. 8314.
They just got here. All right, I got it. Well, listen, hello, beautiful people, particularly you right there missing the third row. How you doing? Good. My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row. I got to say. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. But that work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you bring it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
So like I was saying, the third row, right? I'm saying college.
Okay. Well, look, we were invited to the next warehouse. If you haven't noticed, there's music booming from next door. Bouncers opened it up. Okay, but we already know we're not really supposed to be in here, so try to blend in.
Pierce. Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Slightly. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours.
Escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I got to call you back. I'm in the middle of tonight.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shaw traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Trying to move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Glasses. I would hold on tight if I were you. No flash photography. Arms and legs in the tram. Good luck, fam.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime.
I got the bull by the horn! Witness is mine, Lenny!
How about you, eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Come in the doors!
Way to go, Letty. Drone's lining up the missile shot. Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got it. Roman, don't shoot. Head for the bridge. And there's a traction. Everybody hold on. Hit the left track. Right now.
Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They said the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys can get up. And you're welcome to join us anytime.
That was Fast and Furious Supercharged, the world's largest 3D attraction, and the grand finale to the world-famous Universal Studios tour. But if you'd like to do something like that again, just hop on any Los Angeles freeway. It's the same thing. In a few moments, we'll be returning back to the theme park, so make sure to take a look around. Let's not leave any personal items. Now, if you still have that phone in your hand, I would grab a photo of this gorgeous view to your right. That's the San Fernando Valley. And you can see our neighbors, Warner Brothers, Disney, ABC, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, the world's largest IKEA. It really is Hollywood's backyard. Download the Universal Studios Hollywood app if you have not done it. It really is a nifty tool to keep in your pocket. You got wait times, you have show times at your fingertips. So if you're stuck in the middle of a line, but you're trying to plan the rest of your day, you don't need to wait till you see a studio directory, but you will see one here at our unload area, as well as bins for the 3D glasses. So please do us a favor, don't throw them away. We like to recycle and sanitize them to reuse for all of our friends that take the studio tour. To our annual pass holders, thank you so much for hanging out yet again. To our first timers, we hope you enjoyed it. And to our special birthdays, shout out to you. Where my Libras at? Happy birthday! There's a special song just for you. Hit it. Enjoy the rest of your day. At Universal Studios Hong Kong, the entertainment capital of LA. As they say in the biz, that's a wrap. We'll see you at the movies. Adios, amigos.
You can die, having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl, watch that scene, taking the dancing queen.